May 6, 1937. People from all over New Jersey gathered at the shore. Their eyes were fixed on the horizon, waiting for the arrival of a giant German airship. And when it finally arrived, it seemed like a majestic sight. Cheers echoed across the beach. Cameras flashed. The pride of Germany had successfully crossed the Atlantic, but those cheers soon turned to screams as everyone watched in horror. In just a matter of seconds, the airship burst into flames. Hundreds of people burned alive as they screamed for help. It was an apocalyptic scene straight out of hell. This is the story of the worst disaster in aviation history, the sinking of the Hindenburg. So what caused this disaster? To answer that question, let's go back to the beginning of the story. Imagine a time before commercial airplanes, when people would board luxurious airships to travel thousands of miles through the skies. That was the case with the Hindenburg. The LZ-129 Hindenburg was a massive airship that was longer than the Titanic. It was considered the largest flying machine ever built. Leaving Frankfurt, Germany on May, it was bound for Lakehurst, New Jersey, carrying 97 people, 43 passengers, and 54 crew members. The journey across the Atlantic was not only a marvel of engineering, but also a symbol of international cooperation. Among the passengers were celebrities like actor Edward G. Robinson, industrialist Charles A. Lindbergh, and newspaper magnate William Randolph Hearst. With them were businessmen, travelers, and journalists eager to witness the wonder of the Hindenburg firsthand. Many passengers enjoyed smoking cigars on the upper deck. Others sipped cocktails in the bar or dined on caviar in the restaurant. Some even indulged in the ship's famous sauerkraut soup. The atmosphere was jovial, with many passengers socializing and taking in the stunning views. The Hindenburg was not just a mode of transportation, it was an experience. But little did they know that this luxury cruise in the sky would soon turn into a nightmare. As the ship approached the United States, crowds gathered along the coast to catch a glimpse of the majestic airship. The Hindenburg was a spectacle, a symbol of technological advancement that captivated the imagination of people around the world. Its sheer size and graceful movements through the air left spectators in awe. The Hindenburg was more than just a technological marvel. It was a status symbol, a testament to the ingenuity and skill of German engineering. For many, seeing the Hindenburg in person was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that left an indelible impression. But in Lakehurst, New Jersey, excitement turned to terror in just a few minutes. After a long journey across the Atlantic, the Hindenburg was nearing its destination. The airship was supposed to land at Naval Air Station Lakehurst, where crowds had gathered to witness the event. The landing was eagerly anticipated, as it was not only a major engineering feat, but also a symbol of international cooperation between Germany and the United States. However, as the Hindenburg approached the landing site, a sudden change in the wind forced the crew to alter their course. Despite the unexpected twist, the landing procedure began. Anchors were dropped to secure the airship and mooring cars were brought in to help guide it to the ground. But fate had other plans. As the Hindenburg sailed above the ground, sparks began to appear near its tail. What started as a small flicker quickly turned into a raging inferno. Flames engulfed the entire airship, turning the landing site into a scene of chaos and horror. The fire spread rapidly, consuming the Hindenburg in a matter of seconds. The airship, which had been a symbol of technological advancement and luxury travel, now became a fiery tomb. Eyewitnesses described a scene of utter devastation. The Hindenburg was completely surrounded by flames and black smoke. People could be seen running for safety as the fire spread rapidly. The once majestic airship was reduced to a burning wreck in a matter of moments. In the midst of the disaster, there was panic among the passengers and crew. People desperately tried to escape the burning airship, but the fire spread so quickly that many had no chance of survival. Some jumped from the airship in an attempt to escape the flames, while others stayed on board, hoping for a miracle. The entire ordeal lasted only 34 seconds from the first sign of fire to the complete destruction of the Hindenburg. This short time frame added to the shock and horror of the event, making it all the more devastating. The scene was a chaotic and terrifying one. People were screaming in terror as they realized the gravity of the situation. The once festive atmosphere had turned into a scene of pure horror. The disaster left a lasting impact on everyone who witnessed it, a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the unpredictability of fate. And the worst part of all of this is that someone captured the whole thing on camera. The Hindenburg disaster was not just a tragedy, it was a media sensation. The live radio broadcast and shocking footage of the disaster shocked the world. Radio commentator Herbert Morrison's dramatic descriptions of the disaster as it unfolded became an iconic part of the event. His excited commentary, "Oh, the humanity," captured the horror and disbelief of the moment. The eyewitness film taken by Charles A. Lindbergh, the famous aviator, provided a visual spectacle that the world couldn't look away from. This grainy black and white footage showed the airship's last moments, the flames engulfing it and people desperately trying to escape. The images were so powerful and disturbing that they became a defining moment in media history. They were the first live images of a major disaster, setting the stage for the 24-hour news coverage we see today. But how did the Hindenburg disaster happen? The Hindenburg was designed to be a symbol of luxury and sophistication. It featured elegant cabins, spacious dining areas, and comfortable accommodations. The idea was to provide passengers with a unique and unforgettable travel experience. However, the disaster shattered this image. The burning wreckage of the Hindenburg became a symbol of tragedy and loss. The luxurious airship that once promised comfort and elegance was now a charred reminder of the disaster. After the disaster, investigations were conducted to determine the cause. One of the prevailing theories was that a static spark ignited the airship's hydrogen gas. This was supported by the fact that hydrogen is highly flammable and the airship's proximity to the ground at the time of the disaster. The flammable paint used on the Hindenburg also played a role in the rapid spread of the fire. Despite being built with advanced technology and under the highest safety standards of the time, the Hindenburg disaster highlighted the inherent dangers of airship travel. The use of hydrogen gas as a lifting agent posed a significant risk, as did the lack of proper safety measures. The disaster shook the aviation industry to its core. Passenger airships had been a popular mode of transportation, but the Hindenburg disaster changed everything. The incident led to a decline in airship travel and the end of an era in aviation history. Airships are still used for advertising and observation, but the dream of luxury airship travel was shattered forever. The survivors of the Hindenburg disaster were left with physical and emotional scars. Many suffered severe burns and required extensive medical treatment. The psychological impact of the disaster was equally profound, with survivors struggling to cope with the trauma of the event. The Hindenburg disaster remains one of the deadliest in aviation history. Out of the 97 people on board, 36 lost their lives. The victims included passengers, crew members, and some of the people who had come to watch the airship land. The disaster not only resulted in loss of life, but also widespread injury and trauma. Many survivors were left with permanent disabilities due to their injuries. The disaster sent shockwaves around the world. The sudden and violent end of the Hindenburg captured the attention of people everywhere. The combination of the airship's iconic status and the horrific nature of the disaster made headlines around the globe. The world mourned the loss of life and the end of an era in aviation history. To this day, the Hindenburg disaster continues to fascinate and terrify people around the world. The images and stories of the disaster have become ingrained in our collective memory, serving as a reminder of the fragility of human life and the unpredictable nature of fate. Whether through books, films, or documentaries, the story of the Hindenburg continues to be told and retold, keeping the memory of the disaster alive. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave us a big thumbs up. Also, do you forget to subscribe if you have already so you can stay updated on all our future videos. Thanks for watching and see you next time.